Proverbs 29, verse number 18. Wow. Somebody say Hazon.
Hazon.
Say it again, Hazon. The Bible says, where there is no vision, the people perish. I want you to understand that there are different types of visions. There's what we call the Hezeb vision. There's what we call the Mara vision. There's what we call the Haza vision. But when you read this scripture, from the original context, which is the Hebrew, because this one, it comes from the Hebrew, all right? The word vision there, it comes from the Hebrew word Hazon. Somebody say Hazon. Say it again, Hazon. What is Hazon? Hazon is a prophetic vision. Hazon, it is the ability to see what God is seeing over your business, over your children, over your finances. So Hazon, it is the ability of seeing exactly as God is seeing it. Oh, I feel like I'm talking to people here. So the Bible says, where there is no vision, where there is no Hazon, where there is no ability to see what God is seeing, the people perish. When you don't see what God is seeing about your relationship, when you don't see what God is seeing about your career, you end up doing something that God does not want you to do. To Hazon, it is to have an ability where you are able to see exactly what God is seeing. So our father, the major prophet, has declared this month as the month of what? Of Hazon. Mean to say, in this month, God is giving us access in the spirit where we'll be able to see exactly what he's seeing about our career, about our finances, about our business. So to Hazon is like to have prophetic ideas. To Hazon is like to enter into the mind of God. The Bible says we have the mind of God. Having the mind of God, it is to Hazon. Oh, I feel like somebody's getting it. Are you here or you're somewhere? You're here, right? So the Bible says, where there is no Hazon, where there is no ability to see, for example, if you are doing business and then you don't see what God is seeing about your business, right? You might think like you are in a wrong business. Do you understand that a man called Moses, right? He was outside of Egypt. And the Bible says, when he was outside of Egypt, God told him to say, Moses, I want you to go to Egypt. Tell Pharaoh to let my people go. Now, the Bible says, when he went there were so many things that happened in Egypt until Pharaoh said, hey, you guys, you can now go. And when they were leaving Egypt, Moses did not use the same road that he used when he was entering Egypt. He used a different road. Why that road? It is because that road, it was the road that was shown to him in a Hazon. So he was seeing exactly what God was seeing. Hello? So the Bible says, as they were walking, behold, ahead of them, there was a what? There was a sea. Behind them, there were what? The Egyptians. So the children of Israel, because they were not in a Hazon, because they were not the one seeing what God is seeing on the sea. No, you didn't hear this one. Because they could not see that there will be a dry ground ahead of them. They began to complain. When you don't have Hazon, complaints are always on your mouth. Oh, you didn't hear what I've just said. The Bible says, where there is no vision, Where there is no hazon, the people perish. So imagine the children of Israel, they don't have the vision. It is Moses who is seeing exactly what God is seeing. They don't have it. So as they were walking, the Bible says they saw a Red Sea ahead of them. Hey, it was not a river. If it was a river, we could say, you know what? They could just maybe, try to walk. If it was a river, they could have had, hope to say, you know what? Maybe we are going to cross to the other side. But the Bible says what they had found was a sea. So because they did not have hazon, the Bible says they began to cry. They began to tell Moses, oh Moses, we are going to die. Hey, you took us out of Egypt. Why did you bring us here for us to die? Why? Because they never had hazon. If they could see what God was seeing about their journey, if they could see that there was going to be a way that will be made in the sea, they were not going to complain. When you have the hazon, you don't complain, because you know exactly. Even if your business can be going left, you know that the reason why it is going left, it is because there is something that is left that I need to take. You didn't hear what I just said. There is something that I left. When I was starting the business, I left something. Somebody say hazon. Say it again, hazon. So to hazon, it is to have an ability where you can see exactly what God is seeing. So the children of Israel, they never had a hazon. It is Moses who had a hazon. So they came to Moses and said, hey Moses, what we are seeing right now, there's a Red Sea. And behind us, we are seeing problems. So hazon, it takes you out of your surrounding. Hello? So when you're operating in a hazon, what happens is you don't look at the Red Sea. You see the Red Sea is having a dry ground. When you look behind you, if physically there are some Egyptians following you, you don't see Egyptians defeating you. You see the Egyptians no more. I feel like I'm talking to somebody here. Somebody say hazon. So to hazon, it is to have an ability where you begin to see what God is seeing. So everyone was seeing defeat. Everyone around Moses, they were seeing defeat. They were so scared. Oh Moses, we are perishing now. Oh, why? Because where there is no vision, people perish. So all they could see was perishing. But Moses, because he was in a vision, the opposite of perishing is what? Succeeding. The opposite of perishing is what? To be saved. Am I talking to somebody here? So everyone was seeing defeat around Moses. But because Moses was operating in a hazon, the Bible says he went to the Lord and said, Lord, what are we going to do? And the Lord said, tell the people to keep on moving. Hey, but my business is going down, Apostle. What must I do? Hey, keep moving. But my relationship is falling apart. What must I do? Keep moving. My career is breaking. What must? Keep moving. There is something that God is seeing ahead of you. Oh, I'm talking to somebody in this place. Tell my neighbor.